All right, let's dive into a topic that I think a lot of us have pondered. What happens after we die?
Hmm.
We're exploring the spirit world today, and we're going to be drawing insights from Michael Newton's book, Journey of Souls.
Yes.
So this book uses hypnotic regression to explore what happens after we shuffle off this mortal coil, as Shakespeare put it.
Mm.
And we're going to cover some really fascinating concepts
Mm.
from that initial transition out of the body to the idea of soul groups and guides. So,
It's a fascinating area, and Journey of Souls is so interesting because it's rooted in real experiences.
yeah.
Newton, through years of research, he did hundreds of these case studies,
Right.
and he kind of pieced together this consistent narrative of the soul's journey, which is really interesting.
So let's start with death.
Okay.
That first big transition. Newton talks about a tunnel effect that many people experience as they transition out of their physical bodies.
Hmm.
What is that exactly, and how does it relate to near-death experiences that we hear about?
So the tunnel effect is common in near-death experiences, and in the death recall that people experience under hypnosis.
Okay.
And so think of it as this feeling of being pulled away from your physical body. And it's often accompanied by a feeling of peace and a sense of moving towards this bright light.
So it's not just a visual thing, it's an energetic pull.
It is.
Okay.
Imagine a woman named Sally who lived back in 1866.
Mm-hmm.
Under hypnosis, one of Newton's subjects recalled his death as Sally. And he described being ejected from the body as a point of light, to becoming this wispy string, and then ultimately being drawn away by some unseen force.
Oh, wow. So there's an actual sense of movement and energy involved.
It is. It's
Yeah.
not just visual.
Wow. Now, what about souls that are reluctant to leave?
Yeah.
Newton talks about displaced souls.
Right.
What causes a soul to linger?
Well, there's a couple reasons.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a strong emotional attachment to loved ones, or maybe there's some unfinished business on Earth.
Okay.
Or it could be that the soul is really grappling with the consequences of actions taken during their human life.
Right.
And they struggle to accept their passing.
Well, that makes me think about those times when, I've felt a presence after a loved one has passed. Could that be a displaced soul?
Yeah, it's possible. Those who've had near-death experiences often describe being met by loved ones on the other side.
Right.
Imagine that welcoming energy extended to those who've passed on, offering them comfort and guidance as they transition to the spirit world.
That's a comforting thought. It suggests that even if we're struggling to let go, there's support there.
There is. The spirit world is, as Newton describes it, is a place of healing and growth, not punishment.
Right.
Even souls that have committed harmful acts during their lives are met with compassion and guided toward understanding and rehabilitation.
That's a different perspective than the traditional concept of heaven and hell.
It is.
Yeah.
And it kind of challenges us to reconsider our ideas about judgment and accountability.
Yeah.
No soul is inherently evil, but the human experience can lead to actions that need to be processed and understood on this deeper level.
So what happens when a soul does arrive in the spirit world?
Yeah.
What's that initial experience like?
Newton describes it as a homecoming of sorts.
Okay.
Imagine this being enveloped in peace and unconditional love.
Oh, wow.
And you're surrounded by your guides, soulmates, and spiritual companions, radiating warmth and familiarity.
Okay, that's beautiful. But
Yeah.
I gotta admit, the idea of souls appearing in human form or even shape-shifting, that's a little hard to wrap my head around. Why would they need to do that if they're just energy?
Right. Well, think of it as a way to facilitate communication and connection.
Okay.
Souls are essentially energy beings,
Mm-hmm.
but they can project themselves in various forms to make the interactions more comfortable and familiar.
So it's about creating a sense of ease and recognition.
It is.
Okay.
And beyond appearance, each soul has this unique color aura
Mm-hmm.
that reflects its level of spiritual development and its energy signature.
Okay.
We'll dive into that later when we talk about soul groups and the different levels of awareness.
Okay.
But for now, just know that that's a component.
Okay. But how do souls communicate if they don't have physical voices?
Well, imagine a world where communication is purely telepathic,
Oh, wow.
constant flow of thoughts and emotions.
Okay.
That's the primary mode of communication in the spirit world.
Okay.
And for more intimate connections, Souls engage in something called touch communication.
Okay, now you've got me really curious. What is touch communication?
Yeah.
That sounds almost more intimate than anything we experience here.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
They imagine merging your energy with another soul, experiencing their emotions and memories on this deep, visceral level. It's a level of intimacy and understanding that transcends anything that we can comprehend in our physical forms.
That's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
So we've got souls transitioning through a tunnel, being welcomed by loved ones, potentially shape-shifting, communicating telepathically, and merging their energies. This spirit world is sounding more and more incredible, but also really complex.
It is complex, but it's also incredibly organized. There's structure to the spirit world, a system of learning and growth that involves these soul groups, guides, and this process of spiritual development that spans multiple lifetimes.
So it's not just a free-for-all. There's a purpose and a plan.
Absolutely, and that's what we'll explore next.
Okay.
The structure of soul groups, the role of guides, and this fascinating process of choosing a new life.
Okay. I'm ready to dive in. This is truly mind-blowing stuff.
It is, and it challenges us to think beyond our limited earthly perspective and consider the vast possibilities that exist beyond our physical realm.
All right. So last time we left off with this image of the spirit world as a place of healing and growth, where souls communicate telepathically and even merge their energies in something called touch communication. Still processing all of that, but you mentioned that this realm is also structured,
Yeah.
that there's a system in place.
Yes. It's not just an ethereal free-for-all.
Okay.
Souls are organized into groups, guided by more advanced beings, and ultimately they work towards a collective purpose.
Okay.
Think of it like a vast cosmic university with classrooms, mentors, and a curriculum designed to facilitate spiritual evolution.
Okay. That analogy makes it a bit easier to grasp. So tell me about these soul groups.
Sure.
What's their purpose and how are they structured?
Imagine a group of close friends, individuals who have journeyed together through multiple lifetimes, sharing experiences, supporting each other's growth, and challenging each other to evolve. That's essentially what a soul group is.
Okay.
It's a cluster of souls with similar levels of awareness and shared goals.
So it's like a spiritual support system, kind of like our families or close friends here on Earth,
Yes.
but with a much deeper connection.
Exactly. Yeah, these soulmates, as Newton calls them, provide a sense of belonging and a safe space for souls to process their experiences, both the joys and the challenges of human life.
Right.
And within these groups, there's a natural hierarchy based on spiritual maturity.
Okay.
More advanced souls act as guides and mentors, offering wisdom and support to those who are still learning and evolving.
That makes sense. It's like having a built-in support network of souls who understand you on a deep level and are invested in your growth.
Exactly.
But if these soul groups are so close, why do we have to go through all the trouble of trying to recognize each other here on Earth?
Right.
Why not just, download a soulmates list before we're born?
That's a great question. And that's something that Newton explores. And the answer, it seems, lies in the power of personal discovery
Okay.
and the growth that comes from seeking and finding those deep soul connections. It's about the journey, the challenges, and the triumphs of recognizing those special souls amidst the vastness of human experience.
So it's like a cosmic game of hide and seek
Yeah.
with subtle clues and signs guiding us towards those we're meant to connect with.
Exactly.
What if we miss those signs?
Yeah.
Do we, mess up our soul contracts?
That's where free will comes into play.
Okay.
While soulmates are designated companions, we have the choice to follow those signs or to take a different path.
Right.
And it might lead to alternate experiences, different lessons learned, but it doesn't negate the soul connection.
Okay.
The tapestry of life is vast and intricate, and there are many paths that we can choose.
That's reassuring, actually.
Yeah.
It suggests that we're not locked into a rigid destiny, that there's room for exploration and even mistakes along the way.
Absolutely.
But I'm curious about those signs and clues. What are we looking for?
Yeah.
I mean, are we talking about grand gestures or subtle hints?
Think of it as a whisper from your soul, a feeling of deep recognition, a sense of familiarity that goes beyond logic or explanation.
Okay.
It could be a shared passion, a similar way of seeing the world,
Right.
or even a specific song or object that triggers a profound sense of connection.
There's a case study in the book where a soul is given a specific song as a recognition sign for their soulmate.
Right.
Imagine hearing that song play and feeling this instant pull towards a stranger.
Yes.
This sense of knowing that goes beyond words.
It's those moments, those seemingly random encounters that feel anything but random,
Yeah.
that often hold the keys to our soul connections.
Wow.
So pay attention to those sparks of recognition, those moments when your soul whispers, this feels significant.
I'm definitely going to be paying closer attention to those moments from now on.
Mm,
But before we go any further, can we go back to those soul groups for a moment?
sure.
You mentioned a hierarchy within these groups.
Right.
Can you explain that a little more?
Yeah, so imagine a soul group structured like a cluster with individuals at various stages of development.
Okay.
So some souls are newer to the cycle of reincarnation, still learning the ropes of human existence,
Okay.
while others are more advanced, having integrated many lifetimes worth of lessons.
Okay.
And within this cluster, there's this natural flow of knowledge and support, with more experienced souls guiding and mentoring those who are less experienced.
So it's not a static system. Souls can move between levels as they evolve.
Exactly. The spirit world is all about growth and progression.
Mm-hmm.
And as a soul learns and integrates the lessons of each lifetime,
Right.
it naturally ascends to higher levels of awareness within its soul group,
Okay.
taking on new roles and responsibilities.
Okay.
It's a dynamic and ever-evolving process.
That's fascinating. I love this image of souls constantly learning and progressing.
Yeah?
And it explains why some people seem so naturally wise and insightful.
Right.
They might just be older souls, so to speak,
Exactly.
with more lifetimes under their belts.
Exactly, yeah.
And within these soul groups, there's this wonderful sense of camaraderie and humor, even amidst the serious business of spiritual evolution.
Yeah.
Newton describes one group with these colorful nicknames that perfectly capture their personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Norcross, the boisterous one,
Yeah.
Phrynion, the hypocritical bishop,
Uh-huh.
and Velo, the conceited one.
Right.
That sounds like a sitcom waiting to happen,
Yeah, it does.
but it also highlights the individual personalities that exist within these soul groups.
Yes, and even though they might tease and challenge each other, the love and support within these groups is unwavering.
Right.
There's a deep understanding that everyone is on their own unique path, and the goal is to encourage and uplift each other along the way.
That's a beautiful image of soul connections. It makes you want to find your own soul group and join in the fun.
Yes, definitely.
But before we get carried away with daydreams of hanging out with our soulmates in the spirit world,
Uh-huh.
I have to ask, if souls are so content and connected in this realm,
Yeah.
why do they choose to come back to Earth at all?
What's the point of reincarnation?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Why would a soul choose to leave the peace and wisdom of the spirit world and subject itself to the challenges and uncertainties of human life?
Right.
The answer, according to Newton, lies in the concept of soul purpose.
Okay, now we're getting to the heart of it. Tell me about soul purpose.
Yeah.
What is it, and how does it relate to reincarnation?
Imagine that each soul has a unique set of gifts,
Mm-hmm.
talents, and lessons to learn.
Okay.
The purpose of reincarnation is to provide a platform for those gifts to be expressed,
Okay.
those talents to be developed,
Yeah.
and those lessons to be integrated.
Right.
It's about growth, evolution, and ultimately service to others.
So it's not just about our own personal growth. We're
Mhm.
here to contribute something to the world.
Exactly. Each life we live is an opportunity to make a positive impact,
Hmm.
to learn, to evolve, and to weave our unique threads into the grand tapestry of existence.
That's a beautiful metaphor.
It suggests that even the smallest actions, the simplest gestures of kindness, can have a ripple effect that extends far beyond our individual lives.
Precisely. And that's why choosing a new life is such a profound and multifaceted process.
Right.
It involves careful consideration of the lessons we need to learn,
Uh-huh.
the experiences we need to have, and the impact we want to make on the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cosmic balancing act,
Yeah.
a delicate dance between free will and destiny.
So tell me about this process of choosing a life. You mentioned a ring of destiny last time.
Yes.
What exactly is that?
Imagine a spiritual location,
Okay.
a realm of infinite possibilities where souls can view potential lives,
Mm-hmm.
stand through time, and assess various options for their next incarnation.
Okay.
It's like a cosmic library of life paths,
Wow.
where souls act as librarians,
Okay.
carefully selecting the experiences that will best serve their growth and purpose.
So we actually get to choose our lives.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just randomly assigned a body and a set of circumstances.
It's a collaborative process.
Okay.
Guides and spiritual mentors offer guidance and support,
Mm-hmm.
helping souls to identify the paths that align with their soul purpose.
Right.
But ultimately, the choice is up to the individual soul.
Yeah, okay.
It's an exercise in free will, discernment, and a deep understanding of one's own spiritual needs.
There's a case study where a soul is deciding between lives in different cities, ultimately choosing to be a musician in New York City despite a promising option in Los Angeles.
Right.
It suggests that we have a say in the matter, that we can weigh the pros and cons and make choices that resonate with our soul's desires.
Absolutely.
And that's not all. Souls can even experience a preview of their potential lives, including their deaths.
Yeah, it's a way to assess the challenges and triumphs of a particular path and ensure that it aligns with the soul's overall goals.
Wait, so we can see how our lives might play out, including how we'll die.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is.
But it also suggests that we're choosing these experiences at some level, even the challenging ones, for a specific reason.
Exactly. It's about understanding that every life, regardless of its length or circumstances, serves a purpose in the grand scheme of soul evolution.
Okay.
Even a life that ends prematurely can hold profound lessons and opportunities for growth.
That's a thought-provoking concept. It challenges us to look beyond the superficial aspects of a life and consider the deeper meaning and purpose that lie beneath the surface.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that even in the face of hardship and loss, there's a higher order at play, guiding us toward experiences that serve our highest good.
This is truly mind-blowing stuff.
It is.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture, the interconnectedness of it all.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I'm still struggling with. If we choose our lives, why do some people end up with such difficult circumstances? Why would a soul choose to be born into poverty or experience significant challenges?
That's a question that many people ask, and it goes to the heart of the concept of karma.
Oh, karma.
Yeah.
That's a term that gets thrown around a lot. But what does it actually mean in the context of soul evolution?
Think of karma as a cosmic balancing act.
Okay.
A system of cause and effect that plays out across multiple lifetimes.
Okay.
And it's not about punishment or reward,
Okay.
but rather about opportunities for growth and learning.
So it's like we're working through unresolved issues from past lives, trying to achieve a sense of balance and understanding.
Exactly. We're drawn to experiences that mirror our unresolved patterns, giving us a chance to heal old wounds, learn from past mistakes, and ultimately break free from these limiting cycles.
There's a case study about a soul who chooses to be a crippled writer named Ashley, demonstrating how limitations can lead to intellectual growth and unique experiences.
Right.
It suggests that even challenging circumstances can serve a higher purpose, leading to unexpected gifts and strengths.
Absolutely. Ashley's case highlights the concept of karmic compensation.
Okay.
So souls often choose lives that counterbalance previous experiences, seeking a more balanced development.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that even limitations can be catalysts for growth, pushing us to develop resilience, creativity, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world.
That's a powerful perspective shift.
It is.
It challenges us to look beyond our perceived limitations and consider the hidden potential that lies within those very challenges.
It's about embracing the full spectrum of human experience, recognizing that both joy and sorrow, triumph and adversity contribute to our soul's evolution.
I'm starting to see how all of these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
How the process of choosing a life, the concept of karma, and the challenges we face all contribute to our soul's growth and the fulfillment of a purpose.
Exactly.
This is really incredible.
It is.
So what happens next?
Well, we've covered the beginning, the middle,
Yeah.
and now we're going to explore the end, or rather the beginning of a new beginning.
Okay.
We're going to dive into those final stages of preparing for a new life, the transition back into the physical world, and the challenges of integrating a soul into a human body.
I'm ready for the next chapter. This is a journey I don't want to end.
It's a journey that continues long after this deep dive.
Yeah.
A journey of self-discovery, exploration, and the realization of our infinite potential.
So we've been on quite a journey exploring the spirit world based on what Michael Newton found in Journey of Souls. And we've talked about that initial transition after death.
Right.
We talked about the soul groups, the guides, the concept of karma, even this ring of destiny where souls preview potential lives.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about that final leap, that moment when a soul actually leaves the spirit world and enters a new human body.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Well, it's a process that is filled with this mix of emotions, excitement for this new adventure, but also apprehension about leaving the familiar comforts of the spirit world.
Okay.
It's a big transition. It's kind of like graduating from a cosmic university and then heading back to kindergarten.
I love that analogy. So
Right.
it's not like flipping a switch. There's a process of integration.
Exactly. Imagine a gradual merging of energies.
Okay.
The soul's energy slowly intertwining with the developing fetus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a delicate process. And newer souls especially receive guidance and support from more experienced beings to navigate this integration.
That makes sense. It's like learning a new language, a new way of being.
Mhm.
But what happens if that process is interrupted?
Right.
Like in the case of a miscarriage or abortion, does that, disrupt the soul's journey?
So that's a sensitive topic, and Newton's research suggests that souls are aware of the potential for these events,
Okay.
and they adjust their involvement accordingly.
Okay.
There's no soul abortion
Okay.
because the full integration hasn't taken place.
Right.
So think of it as a preparatory stage.
Okay.
And if the
Yeah.
pregnancy ends, the soul simply returns to the spirit world,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps to choose a different path or await a more suitable opportunity.
That's a comforting thought. It suggests that even in those difficult situations, there's wisdom and compassion at play,
Mm-hmm.
ensuring that the soul is, cared for and guided.
Right.
But even when a pregnancy goes to term,
Mm-hmm.
it still takes time for the soul to fully integrate with the body, right?
Yes, it's a gradual process that unfolds over the first few years of life.
Okay.
It's not like the soul is constantly attached to the body from the moment of conception.
Right.
There's this gradual merging,
Yeah.
synchronization with the developing brain.
Yeah.
And by the time a child starts school,
Mm-hmm.
the soul is usually fully operational, so to speak.
That makes me think about those early childhood years in a whole new light.
Hmm.
It's a time of incredible physical and emotional development,
Right.
but also a time when the soul is finding its footing in the human experience.
It is, and it highlights the interconnectedness of our spiritual and physical selves.
Yeah.
We're not just bodies walking around,
Mhm.
we're souls inhabiting these bodies.
Right.
And that integration process is really essential for our human experience.
This whole conversation has been so eye-opening,
Mm-hmm.
but there's one big question that I still have.
Okay.
We've talked about the why of reincarnation,
Mhm.
soul purpose, growth, evolution, but how do we actually discover our purpose?
Right.
Is there like a cosmic instruction manual we can consult?
Oh, wouldn't that be convenient?
Right.
Sadly, there's no step-by-step guide,
Okay.
but there are clues, signposts along the way.
Okay.
So think of it as a treasure hunt,
Mm-hmm.
this ongoing process of self-discovery.
Okay.
Pay attention to what brings you joy,
Mm-hmm.
what sparks your passion, what makes you feel truly alive. Those are often clues pointing you towards your soul's purpose.
So it's not necessarily about finding one specific career or this like grand mission.
Right.
It's about aligning with those things that resonate with our deepest selves.
Exactly. Your soul's purpose might express itself through your work,
Mm-hmm.
your relationships,
Yeah.
your creative pursuits, or even just simple acts of kindness and service to others.
Okay.
It's about recognizing those threads of meaning that weave through your life
Yeah.
and following them with intention and awareness.
That makes me think about those moments when I feel most fulfilled, most connected to something bigger than myself.
Yeah,
Maybe those are glimpses of my purpose unfolding.
they very well could be.
Yeah.
Pay attention to those moments, nurture them, and see where they lead.
Okay.
Your soul's purpose is not a fixed destination,
Mhm.
but rather this ongoing journey of discovery and alignment.
And what about those times when we feel lost or uncertain?
Right.
Those detours or roadblocks on our path?
Think of them as opportunities for growth,
Okay.
course corrections that ultimately lead us closer to our true north.
Mm-hmm.
Those challenging moments often force us to reevaluate our priorities,
Right.
to shed old beliefs,
Okay.
and to step more fully into our authentic selves.
It's like those times when, we get lost while driving.
Yeah.
It can be frustrating, but sometimes those detours lead us to unexpected discoveries
Mm-hmm.
or help us appreciate the intended route even more.
Exactly. It's all part of the journey. And even those seemingly wrong turns contribute to the richness and complexity of our experience.
So we've covered the beginning, the middle, and now the end, or rather, the beginning of a new beginning.
Right.
This exploration of Journey of Souls has been truly mind-expanding.
It's a book that challenges us to think beyond our limited earthly perspective and
Yeah.
and consider the vast possibilities that exist beyond our physical realm.
Mm-hmm.
And it offers this profound and hopeful vision of life, death, and the interconnectedness of it all.
And for our listeners who are just beginning to explore these concepts, what advice would you give them?
Well, embrace curiosity, ask questions, explore different perspectives,
Right.
and most importantly, trust your own inner wisdom.
Okay.
You have a soul, this unique and beautiful essence that holds the keys to your own purpose and potential.
Beautifully said. And as we wrap up this incredible deep dive, I encourage everyone listening to continue exploring these concepts, to delve deeper into the mysteries of the soul, and to embrace the profound beauty and interconnectedness of life itself.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible journey, and I, for one, am feeling inspired to continue exploring these mysteries.
It's a fascinating journey.
It is.
And it never ends.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.